Welcome to New York News. I'm Rachel Ross. With us today is Susan Melling, genetic researcher from Chicago Med. Thank you for joining us today, Susan.
It's a pleasure to be here, Rachel.
There have been many instances of sleeper on sleepless violence. We're going to show you a clip of the most recent incident that occurred in a We Sleep factory.
You're sleepless.
I think that was horrifying. Do you have any thoughts, Susan?
That was absolutely terrible. I don't understand why people feel the need to commit hate crimes just because someone's different.
We have a surprise guest on the show today, Joey, the sleepless that was assaulted in our clip. Can you tell us what happened, Joey?
I don't know. Just don't tell Hawk.
Breaking news! We just got word of the riots being held outside We Sleep Factory and Sanctuary. We're now going live to Sanctuary.
Sleepless suck. 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 Sleepless suck.
Reporting from Sanctuary for New York News, I am Miguel Sanchez, here live with Jennifer Sharifi. Why do you think there's so much animosity towards Sanctuary and the sleepless population?
Well, it's simple. It's because we're better. I mean, with our technology, our community, we're close. With our education, our children are superior to yours. We're just better.
Will Sanctuary become a threat to the United States and the sleeper population as a whole?
Well, we have not been threatened, and it has not occurred, but it does not mean that we're not prepared for it. If we are threatened either cyberly, genetically, we're prepared.
Have you heard of the incident that occurred at the We Sleep factory?
What incident?
One of your sleepless was hurt in a confrontation with a bunch of sleepers.
No, I have not heard of this confrontation, but it doesn't surprise me. It's a We Sleep factory.
Why do you think there's a rivalry between Sanctuary and the We Sleep factory?
Like I stated before, it's because we're better. We're superior compared to you guys. They're jealous. I mean, with our wealth, our technology, our closeness of our community, what more could you ask from us?
Why do you, Jennifer Sharifi, support the use of genetic modifications in humans?
Well, it all started with Susan Melling. That's why we're here today, because of our genetic modifications. It started when we were children. So, I support it because it furthers our advancement in a race. Our community will become better, to become superior, to provide more for the community. We don't want to become beggars like the sleepers.
Are you suggesting that most sleepers are beggars?
Of course I am.
Are you suggesting I am a beggar?
I don't need this.
Well, now we're going back to the We Sleep factory. Back to you, Monica.
Down with We Sleep. Down with We Sleep. Down with We Sleep.
Down with We Sleep! Down with We Sleep! Down with We Sleep! Down with We Sleep!
Down with We Sleep. 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 Down.
Monica Chandler from New York News reporting live here from the We Sleep factory with Calvin Hawk here, founder of the We Sleep movement. Why do you think there's so much animosity against the We Sleep movement?
I think there's mainly animosity from the sleepless. There isn't animosity from other people, just the sleepless. And the reason for that is because I create a balance. I create a level playing field for the sleepers. And unfortunately, the sleepless can't deal with that, and they want to keep all the power for themselves. And since I create competition for them, they come to my factories and they protest. And I think that I create fear in them and that's why they come here to protest against my factories.
Don't you think that's going to create a divide between the sleepers and the sleepless?
I think the divide was created when their parents decided to genetically modify them. Unfortunately, it created an unfair advantage for them, and many people can't afford to be genetically modified. Their parents couldn't afford to genetically modify them. Like a lot of the people here that work in this Weasley factory. Unfortunately, what happened when they were genetically modified was they were dehumanized. A lot of the things that we as humans take pride in and do on a daily basis, they don't do because of their genetic modifications. And this has created a divide, but it's not my Weasley factories. My Weasley factories are only to help the sleepers excel in their lives. For example, one of my employees, Tina, came to my office one day and told me that because of We Sleep and our movement, she was able to provide for her family and keep up with the economy and everything. Because before we had We Sleep, she didn't have the opportunity because the sleepless were taking over everything and anything they could, and my factories created the opportunity for her to provide for her family and her children.
But don't you think that this divided economy in your We Sleep movement is dangerous to the United States?
I don't think that it's dangerous to the United States. I think that is creating a level playing field. I think I'm helping the United States. I think I'm helping the United States excel because of the opportunities I'm giving the sleepers. The sleepless just want all the power to themselves, and morally, that's wrong. Once somebody has that kind of power and is that high up, they don't want to give up the power, and it creates an immoral balance. And that takes away from sleepers and sleepless alike. So that's the divide that sleepers want you to think that will happen in the economy, that it'll be dangerous for the economy, when in fact it's helping the economy. It's helping the sleepers excel in this economy and get to the level that the sleepless are at.
Thank you for your input, Mr. Hockey. Monica Chandler here, reporting live from New York News.
Thank you, Monica Chandler. Now, Susan. There's been a lot of controversy over whether or not sleeplessness as a genetic modification should be legal. The truth is that we have no idea what genetic modification does health-wise. Since you came up with this development, what is your take?
Let me start with a brief description of sleep. Researchers have known for a long time that there are 3 kinds of sleep: slow wave, rapid eye movement, and optional. The REM, or rapid eye movement stage of sleep, is where dreaming occurs. During this stage, the brainstem bombards the cerebral cortex with random nerve firings, and it uses a lot of energy doing so. That being said, doctors and researchers have known for about 60 years that the medications being used to treat depression suppress REM sleep entirely. If you get rid of the REM stage of sleep, then you decrease the occurrences of depression. That is what we've done with sleeplessness. So in the long run, the individuals that have received this genetic modification are more cheerful, happy, and joyous. Besides that, through extensive research from my colleagues and myself, we have found no negative side effects. The only thing we found is that they regenerate tissue very quickly, which means that we see no chance of sleepless individuals dying from old age.
But won't this take away from humanity and what it means to be humans?
Morality and humanity are defined by what contributes to life, not what leeches from it. Sleepless individuals show a natural bend towards achievement because of the extra third of a day.
Becoming sleepless is unrealistic in today's economy. Not everyone is as rich as Roger Camden.
Many of the genetic modifications that we have completed thus far have been performed for middle-class families. It is fairly affordable. I understand that not everyone is as wealthy as Mr. Camden, but we are able to reach the majority of the United States because most individuals in this country belong to middle-class families. The viewers also need to understand that sleeplessness is not the only modification that Mr. Camden ordered for his daughter, like most of the parents that have decided this for their children. If the other modifications are not frowned upon, why is this one? What makes sleeplessness so different from athletic or cosmetic genetic modifications? They both provide an advantage over unaltered individuals.
This advantage that you just mentioned, wouldn't that be creating an even larger divide between the different economic classes? Because I understand that individuals that have had the sleeplessness modification are also more intelligent.
That's true, they are more intelligent. We've been independent from class conflict for such a long time that even the slightest edge over competition creates an uprising. There's always going to be someone with an advantage, and there will always be someone new to challenge the norm.
Thank you, Susan. That was very enlightening. That's all we have for our show this evening. I'm Rachel Ross, reporting from New York News. We'll catch you on the flip side.
I think it's time to tell you all that I am Russian and I have just mastered the American accent.
For real?
For real.
Confessions of a Russian true life.
With Calvin Hoffman.
Hi, how are you? I don't know what to say to that.
Do you have any thoughts, Susan?
Yeah?
Reporting live from Sanctuary, reporting for E! News.
One.
Sorry, I'm a dork. You know this. Oh. Pause it.
No. Okay.
What are you doing?
Recording it.
In many instances, a sleeper on Sleepless, oh my god, it went down.
What?
You skipped
You're-
the bullshitting.
Oh.
We sleep, down with we sleep. We sleep, suck my.